Good morning. It is 10 to 7 and I'm about to check the plants. Some of them are doing good. Like this one right here. I have decided to leave this in the house. It does so much better. You can see all the babies. It's just doing a lot better in the house. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave this in the house and to allow it to just grow and be happy. And then my cactus, the update on my cactus. It's doing great. And of course you can see the very dry soil. And then my new addition, I don't even know what kind of plant that is. I'm not sure. Probably some kind of pothos or, the equivalent of. But it's doing great. This was the plant that I got from Ace Hardware that was just staying in the water, and it would have drowned it. Got root rot. But you can see, definitely loving life. I'm still using water from Culligan, distilled water, for my pitcher plants, the carnivorous ones. I'm still using this pendant light, and it's still on a timer. You can see the timer back here. That's everything that controls my lights is right there, and it controls the fogger. But this one was the henny bitties, chicken and hens. It was doing bad outside. I brought it in and it's doing a lot better. So underneath the light, and I water it just a little bit once a month. And it's doing great in the house. And these are my pitchers, my carnivorous plants. It's actually got a bug in there. Let's see if we can. And then you got the babies. But this one here has got a new one right here. Let me get this off of all that. And I think I put it there for a reason, because it gets the sun that it needs. Let me refix that. But you can see the color. Look at the color. It's two-tone. It's getting big. And I have another one right here, the baby. And it's doing good. I have some jumping spiders around. This is because the light is too close. So I got to think of something different. It's got a little bit of a burnt look. But I definitely got a new one, so I'm happy about that. And I'm going to keep that over there. And these are more solid color. See how it's just one solid color? And the spider plant is like all up in its way there. And you can see it's misting, fogging, whatever you want to call it. And it's doing good. This one, I'm trying to get it to go onto the plant a lot better. There, that's better. And then the little one's doing really good. I got something back here that needs to be pulled out. just like a little weed. I don't know why I get weeds in the house, but I do. I think it's from the moss, because you can see it's got moss in here. And you can see it's not sitting in water. They do not like their toes in water. So it's definitely easy to grow in the house. They're absolutely easy. You just have to have humidity, which that's what the fogger gives right there. You can see it. It gives that humidity, you can see right there. And it's just during the time, every 3 hours, it gets fogged, and they seem to be really happy about that. And they don't like to have their toes in water, so that's a general rule. They don't like to be sitting in water. I do put water through the tops, but then that's what fills the bottom down here up. And I only use distilled water. It absolutely has to be distilled. They cannot handle the chemicals in water, from your faucet. And then I mist it down once a month with this, and it's food that I put in the bottle. And then I just mist it down, and it's time. So this is all I do. And that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. So it feeds them. I do have these for like the bigger pods. Like the bigger ones right here. And then that's it. It's simple. You just let them do their thing. Has to have their lights. Lights are also on a timer. I didn't spend a lot on these lights. And I think I will be getting another one like that for right over here to utilize those on something else. But this one was like $140 some, I think. Or did we get? I'm not sure if we got the $199 one or the $140, but this one's really nice. And these guys are really happy. Let me resituate that. Okay. And then we're going to focus on our tree. Friends, we have done so good. Look at that. We got new babies. It suffered bad coming into the house. I asked and asked and asked for it to be, relocated so it could start acclimating. But nobody wanted to do it, and it's heavy, and I had no way to do it by myself. So I had to bring it in without acclimating it, and it lost a lot of leaves. But it's doing great now. As you can see right here, they got new leaves everywhere, just babies everywhere. I mean, everywhere you look is a baby. And if you can see, you can actually see all the babies. They're the lighter colored leaves. And there's a baby there. I do have a couple of jumping spiders on here. And I do keep, we have orchid that comes around. See, right here's a leaf that hasn't fallen all the way. I'll clean that up. But we have orchid that comes. And I make orchid just completely miss this area because, one, I don't want my plants being affected. But two, I have jumping spiders and I want to leave them, alone. I want them to be happy. And so I do mist this thing down quite a bit. Like once a day, I'll mist, some areas down for them so they can get a drink. Because I don't want my jumping spiders to get over here. Because if they get down into this, they're not coming out. And, I don't want them to die. So, and it might sound weird to some, but I have an arachnophobia, and but jumping spiders I'm good with. And then over here is my aloe, and you can see she's doing so good. I don't know why it's going that way, but okay. You can see it's doing really good. I only water this thing every other week, and it seems to be happy right where it's at, so I'm not going to mess with it at all. Sorry about that. That was my grandfather clock going off. I'm not going to mess with it. I was going to take it outside, and I decided not to. It's doing too good in the house. I'm just going to leave it the way it is, turn it every so often. As you can see, it's starting to all go this way towards the window. So I'll turn it. That way everything kind of goes this way, so that way it'll come back up and it'll start working its way towards the window again. And it keeps it straight. And then here's my snake plant. Mother-in-law's tongue, snake plant. I think there's a few other names. And then there's a technical name for it, which I don't know. But when the leaves start curling, it just means that it's ready for some water. But I can feel the moisture, and you just don't want to, overwater it. It's kind of like, these are kind of like a succulent. They don't like a lot of water, so you want to keep an eye on it. I mean, these leaves might be still straightening back up. I mean, but you can see right here, it's kind of straight. But it's doing really good. And like I said, you feel down here, you feel a little damp, and you can see that it's a little damp. Down here, this one's struggling a little, but I think we've got it sitting right. Now I went ahead and put a light here, so that way it can give it more light, and let's see what happens. But I do believe that these are, they're bulbs, so I do believe these are supposed to overwinter without this. So if that happens, we'll see what happens. But, just got to keep trying. It's kind of hard to work through here because I got stuff on the floor. The collagen bottles. And then here's my spider plant, and oh my goodness, it has just produced all kinds of spider plant, little babies, absolutely everywhere. Look at that. Can you believe that? And this is my string of hearts. I need to propagate it. Need to figure out how to propagate it. I haven't done my research on it yet, but it's happy where it's at, and so I'm not going to mess with its location, but I do want to, propagate it and, fill it out and make it look beautiful. And there's a pothos right there. It's doing good. Little sparse, so I'm going to clip the vines that you see going down and make more babies, and then fill in the center. And then I'll worry about allowing it to go down. There's the other spider plant, and those babies are getting big. I let my neighbor come over and took a lot of babies off this one. And I think he took like 30 babies, something like that, for his students for class. And he said that the children absolutely love it. He's a high school teacher. And then here's my pothos, my other one. And that one's doing the best. You can see how long it's getting. So what I'll probably do is take some off of this one, and some off the other one and do starts and then put it in that other one. So what would I do different with these plants? Well, I've already decided that the aloe and the snake plant and the chicken and hens, and of course my hanging plants are not going outside at all. I'm done. I'm done with the stress that it causes on my plants to go outside in the spring, summer, and early fall, and they come in during the winter, and I'm just tired of it. They look beautiful, and then they'll go outside, and then they'll suffer even when I transition them back and forth, and that's a lot of work, taking them in and out every day while they transition, and they still suffer. So, and then in the winter, when winter comes, they would come back in, and of course I would transition in the mornings. Once it reaches a certain temperature, I would take them outside, and then in the early evenings before, I'm done with the outside, I would bring them in, and I would do that for like 2 weeks, and that's just a lot of work, and they're heavy. They're full of, they're big pots, and they're heavy. Now this one here, it's not heavy, but still, it just suffers being outside. That aloe, it's heavy. That's a heavy pot, and then you got the soil and all that in it. And then, of course, this one here, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I don't know if I'm going to, I'll probably put it outside. But from what I read, you're supposed to put it in a cool, dark area, cut all the stuff off, and then it's supposed to hibernate over the winter. I just don't know if I'll put it outside next year or not. Just not sure. The tree. That was pretty stressful. And it was stressful for me. It was stressful for the tree. I think that I'm going to be a little more demanding. Look, if you want the tree outside, then you're going to have to help acclimate it. And, taking it outside, it seems to be fine. But it's when you bring it in that it seems like it, for the winter, it seems like it really had a lot of problems. I was picking up leaves every day. I was getting upset, and my husband said it was going to be fine. But it's supposed to produce lemons, and if it stresses out that bad, maybe it won't produce. I don't know. So I will definitely have to do some research on that. And acclimating the tree, I found a good solution is just take it to a shaded area so it'll get filtered sun. And, and you just move it a little more towards that shade, to get it out of the sun. It's still getting a little bit of sun, but it's taking it out of the sun, and it's basically preparing it to come in here. And, that's what's going to have to be done. If he wants the thing outside, then he has to help me do the work on acclimating it for it to come back in. You can definitely see all the babies. I'm hoping it produces. It said something about March, that it could produce in March. So we'll definitely see if that's the case. But these are my plants. I do have plants in the dining room. They are pothos. You can barely see them over the pot. They're very tiny, and I'll go ahead and show you those as well. But this is what I do in the winter, and it kind of soothes the fact that my garden is over with and I won't be able to do anything. I do know that my husband said that I was to get some jalapeno seeds, and we'll get a pot, and we're going to bring it in, and we're going to grow jalapenos in the house. Now, he did tell me to do that, but it could be spring before I get it. I hope not, but I forget, and then he forgets, and then we remember, and so on and so forth. So, I would like to grow some jalapenos in the house. You can keep a pepper plant, depending upon the pepper. I know jalapenos you can do it up to 5 years, and the longer you have it, the more mature they become, the more peppers they produce. 1 year I had so many peppers on a plant from doing, just overwintering it in the house, that we couldn't eat all the jalapenos, and we eat jalapenos all the time. Okay, friends. Well, that is it for the plants. I'll do a video next week, so that way you guys can see the progress of the plants. I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving and your holidays are wonderful. Keep safe. Remember, kindness goes a long ways, and family mean everything. Now it's time for you guys to make history. Your history begins at home. Bye, friends. And these are the babies that I promised.